How does someone politely end a conversation with a person who won't stop talking? If they keep talking over polite cues, I have found there really isn't a polite way to exit the conversation. I had a coworker years ago that you literally just have to turn around and walk away. He wouldn't stop talking, even if you said stuff like, "I have a meeting I'm supposed to be on, gotta go." He would just start talking again, like he didn't even hear you. You literally just had to turn around and walk away while he was still talking. Sometimes as he'd walk away, he'd raise his voice and just yell to you across the room. It was fucking bizarre. My friend has Asperger's and I actually asked him about how he knows a conversation is too long, and we discussed how he can't recognize subtle social cues. So I started practicing with him. I'll literally put my hand up in a stop motion in front of him and say, "Can I stop you here?" Or, "Sorry, I have to stop you there," and once he pauses I say my excuse and tell him that we'll talk more later. Gosh, you're such a good friend to take the time and effort to help your friend out this way. When they draw a breath, politely say, "On that note, I must be on my way." Then, simply leave. "Hello. On that note, I must be on my way." Say "Weep," slap your knee, and stand up to leave. Then you stand at the front door for several hours talking some more. "Sorry, I have to return some videotapes. The record I left on for the dog is about to end." In Flanders we have a word for it. Bon, and then you say something, "I have work to do. It's time to go home. It's time to get drinks." And people realize the other person wants to leave without being mean. Edit. I forget to mention the short slap that goes with it to give it more weight. And yes, it's a French word. People use it probably in France, Quebec, and Wallonia too. But I never had a long conversation there. In the UK, our method is to slap our thighs and say "right." Sadly, this usually leads to the next hour of increasing levels of trying to leave. With some people it's impossible. I worked with a guy who wouldn't stop talking, long boring stories with no point and no end. I was doing a course through distance learning at the time, so any downtime was spent studying. I politely asked him to be quiet and explained the importance of the assignment I was working on. He agreed not to talk, but then sat there humming. This lasted about 10 minutes, until he couldn't bear it anymore, and started yabbering on again with his incessant nonsense. Yeah, I worked with a dude at work who needed to talk. I just talked to him to be polite and not awkward. And I remember him saying, "At least you're not one of those people who are silent all day." In my head I'm like, fuck, I wish I could be silent all day, but now that you said that, it would be even more awkward. At some point I just mentally said fuck it, and started giving him one-word replies. I think he got the hint, because he started talking to me less. Eventually he quit after a couple months, so it's all good. But some people just need to talk for whatever reason. I need my freaking silence. Find a hedge and slowly disappear into it. Neighbor across the street is just the sweetest guy, but quite a talker, and has serious ADHD, and is mostly deaf and some eyesight issues, so he will randomly start talking about another topic, then jump to another, and won't hear/see when you try to squeeze in an excuse to leave. I sometimes look out the window when he's talking to joggers or someone just asking about his lawn, car, weather, etc. They start nodding politely, stay there a few minutes, start making motions like pointing showing they have to leave, etc., shuffling backwards. Several times I have seen people literally back into his hedge. Neighbor helps them out, of course. I think the poor guy realizes what he's done at that point, but he can't stop talking. And then he notices a rip in their shirt or something with their hair and starts talking about where he gets his shirt, or does his hair, or something else. Wait. What time is it? It's X. Fuck. The proceed to robot dance away until out of view. Oh my gosh, I have already taken up so much of your time. I am so sorry. I'm even running late myself. Pee-wee, let me go. I seriously need to learn how to do this. I'm too polite and like a magnet for these types who just want a warm body to talk at. Can barely get a word in edgewise, and when I do it's like they don't even hear me. I learned a trick. Most excessive talkers hate listening, so I simply participate and tell my own stories. After 1 or 2 stories they are usually ready to leave themselves to seek their next victim. As a teacher, I have learned how to interrupt people who do not leave any pauses when they are speaking. Start nodding and verbally agreeing with them. You can't interrupt these people, but you can start agreeing while they speak. Then raise your voice and say, yeah, wow, excuse me but I must go. You know I just think Hitler wasn't such a bad guy. I think he had some interesting final solutions to the world problems. Yeah, wow excuse me, but I must go. Just start coughing these days, it'll clear a whole room in seconds. Coughing while muttering I'm sorry, excuse me and leaving the room. I have to go. But you live here. My go-to is I don't want to cut you short, but I really need to get going. Let's connect another time. And that's it. If you can practice this, start to train one of your eyeballs to slowly drift off whilst the other eye remains locked on this. That should do the trick. Haha. I can actually do this, and I love doing it to friends while we are talking. Always creeps people out. The guy in the wheelchair on The Office to Michael Scott, I'm going to stop you right there and leave. Billy Merchant is a legend. Also his nurse is hot. Oh man, that 3-bean burrito I bought from that dude in the abandoned Kmart parking lot is not agreeing with me. Let's continue this conversation in the bathroom. Okay. I have to warn you though, there will be lots of screaming. Are you okay with holding my hands while it passes? I look them square in the eye and say I have to go now. I don't make excuses. I don't make up lies. I simply go. Yeah, if you wanna sound more polite I will just say it's been a pleasure, but I gotta go. People who are like this expect folks to just walk away from them while they are talking, because that's the only way the conversation ends. It's not rude to them, it's normal. So, it's entirely okay to say, alright this has been great, see you later, and then just walk away smiling. Yeah, my neighbor does the endless talking, and his yard sits above me, so he talks down at me, and at some point I just start making distance, while he keeps starting new topics until there is a quick end to a sentence and I can turn the corner and disappear. It feels wrong, but seems to be the expected behavior at this point and we have a good relationship. Pull your phone out, hold it to your ear, say hello and oh okay, then put your phone away, then say sorry I have to go. Even better if you trigger your ringtone yourself, or set a timer beforehand. I gotta piss. Okay, except I've actually used this excuse so many times while pregnant. You just get to totally interrupt the person and be like, excuse me, baby has decided I really need to use the washroom, bye. And everyone laughs good naturedly, and you totally get a free pass, lol. Say anyway. And wander off. *EVERY introvert here to take notes. Source, am a therapist. What you do is recap their last story and in the same breath add a goodbye. That is. Sounds like you guys found a bunch of great deals at the mall. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing your secrets. You'll have to tell me more next time we run into each other. It was great to catch up. I'm going to end every conversation with thanks for sharing your secrets. From now on. Op asked for a polite way to end a conversation, not some fake excuses to get out of the situation. I'm assuming we are not talking about best friends here, but mere acquaintances or colleagues. And not all of them are stupid, they know when you're making up shit to leave. The polite way is to be honest and kind. Find a moment where they pause. Everyone has to take a breath at some point if they want to continue talking. Name, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I really need to go now. Hopefully we can talk again soon. Have a nice day. Plain and simple. Gotta go now. See ya. And walk away. And he waddled away. Waddle waddle. Remember that it is them who is being impolite by talking incessantly about things of no interest to their audience. I'm a nurse and deal with people mostly over the age of 60 and most in their 70s. This group drone on about nonsense and have zero respect for my time and the other 6 people I'm caring for. They really are the me generation. And if you try to leave they'll keep talking. Most of us develop our own tricks for cutting a conversation. Mine has been to interject and say I'm sorry for having to end this conversation, but I have a very tight schedule and my next patient is waiting for me. I leave the room either way, so it doesn't matter much to me. My husband is on the spectrum and struggles with this. Sometimes I have to pull him aside and tell him it's time to allow for natural breaks in the conversation. He'll often blurt out loudly, "Am I doing that thing where I'm talking all the time?" Listen, love to continue this fascinating conversation, but I sharted and need to go wash my ass cheeks. Ask them how many COVID boosters they have. Then laugh and walk away shaking your head, no matter how they respond. At 62 I just walk away. My bullshit filter has disappeared. You gotta realize that everyone else they talk to just walks away. They're used to that. They think a conversation is you just talk at someone till they walk away. It's not weird to them. Well, let me let you go.